Yeah, what's poppin' guys, Szyl here, and in this video I'm going to be going over the different Davinci Resolve export options, being AV1, H265, and H264. Those are the different types of encoders, mainly because I haven't really seen anyone else make a video quite like this that goes over, which one is the best to use and why. I'm just kind of going over the different facts and stuff that are real and actually exist. Now, do keep in mind this isn't insanely technical or whatever. This is like human eye testing and just experimenting of having rendered a bunch of different videos myself. The main test here is going to be with their Rise Zombies review I did. You can see it's 5 gigabytes because it's AV1 recorded footage at a very, very high quality. Luckily, my current capture card is able to do a very high quality. So I'm 30 minutes of footage, which was edited down to 29. It's basically almost unedited footage, just kind of re-rendered. With an outro at the end and a little bit of stuff cropped out. But you can see footage looks pretty solid, looks pretty good. I'm going to actually export this one with AV1, which I'll explain why later. But in the future, I definitely won't be for the most part. You can see the footage looks good, the footage looks solid, the footage is good, the footage is solid. If we then go to the first one, which is just the Rise, this is the AV1 encoded stuff. You can see our 5 gigabyte file turn into a 19.6 gigabyte file. I don't know where all the extra file size is coming from. I had it on a slow preset if that matters, but if the raw footage is 5 gigs, the exported one should not be 20. I'll just be real, that's way too much extra storage. I understand it's still 29 minutes of really high quality footage. It looks the exact same pretty much as what the actual recording itself looked like, which wasn't really super high quality. I probably should have used a better game to test this with. But the thing is, it has a really fast render time. Now, this is an insane render time for anyone. 4 minutes, 38 seconds for 29 minutes of video is frankly insane. That's just what modern graphics cards can do, which is really cool. But you'll notice it's way faster than the other two. H265 was 5 minutes and 4 seconds. H264 was all the way up to 6 minutes and 34 seconds. So if you're in like a more normal computer, like my previous computer, a 29-minute video would be a 29-minute render, which means this would be 29 minutes. This would then become 45. So that's 15 extra minutes on like an average render that are being added on by H264. However, we compare the file size of H264 and H265 and AV1. That's really what matters at the end of the day for a lot of people, because this takes me like 2 days to upload. It is way too big. My internet speed is not fast enough to be handling this. So yeah, H265 on the other hand, 11 gigs. It's literally half the size for a slightly longer render. And then, actually, H264, half the size for a slightly longer render. And then H265 is even smaller at 7 gigabytes. And the footage looks just as good, if not better. I'm pretty sure H265 looks just straight up better than H264, so there's kind of no reason to use H264 when you can just use this instead. Yeah, I mean, it looks the same. The quality looks the same. There's not like extra blurring somewhere. The real quality drop-off that will happen is on YouTube's end, because YouTube compresses every video you put up anyway. So you might as well use the one that's got a reasonably fast render time and a much smaller file size output. Because, I mean, my quality is still really high. If I ever want a smaller file size than 7 gigs, you can use stuff like Handbrake. So, for example, I've opened up here, and then I throw this into here in Handbrake. I'll leave a download for this in the description. I can change this to 1080p 60 creator. Where is it? I know it's somewhere in here. Gaming content is 1080p 60 FPS, by the way. Don't do 1080p 30. It's really notable. Yeah, creator 1080p 60. This will make it H264. I'm like 99% sure. But just keep the dimensions all at the same. 1080p 60. Save this as default. I don't even know how you do that. The presets. Set current as default. There we go. 1080p 60, just like that. Leave everything kind of as is. You can change the encoder. You can make it AV1. You can make it H265, whatever you want to have installed. In my case, I was using H265, so I'll just use H265 yet again. Well, the NVENC version, because that's the NVIDIA version. If you have an NVIDIA card, it helps. And then just keep the frame rate at a constant 60. You don't need a peak 60. set this quality to whatever you set the quality in OBS to. In my case, 20 is actually what I use, and 20 is a really good, solid thing for most people. And then, yeah, you can do the encoder preset. You can make it faster if you want to render faster, and just hit start encode. And what this will do is it'll really compress your file. It will take a while to do it, mind you, especially on like a worse computer. This can really take its time. In my case, you can see it's already at 4%, so it's not going to take that long for me. But I did have one time where I think I had a 3-hour video that was 300 gigabytes or something, and I compressed it down to like 80. Like, it is insane. This will literally get it a fourth of the file size. I'd be shocked if this is like over 2 gigabytes, over 3 gigabytes. I'd say it's probably going to be like 2 point something gigs. This is a live test. I haven't done this before, but 7 gigabytes is still quite a large file, but with 20 megabytes of upload, which at least for me, that's the average I've had at like hotels and different cities and stuff, and in big cities, you get way faster speeds than that, so this is even quicker. But that's 7,000 megabytes divided by, let's say, 20 megabytes upload. That's 350 seconds, which is about 6 minutes, give or take, right? So that's some quick math right there. If we do, let's say you have a 5 megabyte per second upload, that's 1400, which means it'll take about 24 to 25 minutes. And if we get this down to like 2 gigs instead at a 5 megabyte upload, 2000 divided by 5 divided by 60, right? That'll be only 6 minutes. It's literally a fourth of the time. And if you can just let this run in the background, or if you have like a spare computer to run this on, you can let this kind of finish its thing. You can really get the file size down while keeping the same quality. That's what Handbrake is all about. Because Davinci Resolve, they just want to get you good quality quickly, so the file size actually ends up a little bit larger than it really has to be. Handbrake is specifically built to compress files without losing quality. So if you keep the same frame rate, you keep the same quality, you keep the same encoder, make sure that's the important part. The same encoder is the important part here, and also the quality, obviously. Then you should have the same output, but at a fraction of the file size, which is, it's really cool software to do that with. But on the whole, basically, the whole point of this video was to say, do H265 exports in Davinci Resolve. They'll give you the highest quality at a decent render time compared to everything, right? I mean, normally H264, from my experience, is smaller. I don't know why it's bigger here. Something weird must have happened. Maybe I have my settings higher on H264 or something, but H265 does a really good job of keeping quality. The end user on YouTube will never really notice the difference, and you get half the file size, a similar render time, and just kind of raw benefits all around. I mean, I'm still using AV1 raw footage. It's just the end footage now is way smaller and nicer, which is great for upload speeds because, like I said, upload speeds are a real problem on YouTube. I've had some videos literally take me like 1 to 2 hours to just get up onto YouTube, which is obviously really annoying because it makes your internet slower the whole time it's doing that. But yeah, we have our outputs. I don't actually remember where this, where is it? It's supposed to be in here. Oh, it's sort of my C drive, not my D drive. Let me go grab it real quick. And yeah, you can see just like clockwork, this went from 7 gigabytes down to 2.8, which was way quicker for your internet speed. And the amount of time it took to compress made it worth it. I mean, there's literally zero visual change. Let me know if you guys see a change. For me, there's nothing different here. It just looks better. Looks the same, looks good, looks solid, but a much smaller file size at the end of the day. If you have slower internet speeds, having a better computer or doing more processes like this that take a little bit of extra time to render, but will greatly reduce your file size, is totally worth it. And hopefully this helped out. Hopefully this helped you make a decision on how you want to export your stuff. I think generally for most people, H265 is the play. From what I've heard for keeping quality, the best way to actually keep that is instead of using MP4, if you use QuickTime H265 and H264, it apparently keeps the quality way better. I actually use this just with MP4 for a more, valid, just direct comparison of the codec differences. But format-wise, I think QuickTime, from what I've heard, is just the best way to be doing stuff. So, that's probably how you should be doing it. And with that being said, let me know if I got anything wrong in the comments. I'm pretty sure what I got here is right. And these are real experiments with real results. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.